Well, I just checked my GoPro. I still have about 77% of battery life, and these are my new gloves that I bought for, man, I gotta clean my nails. I've been playing in the dirt with all these excavators. When I drive, I always try to charge my laptop to make sure my laptop is fully loaded, so to speak, when I stop. Because, you know, when I make these videos, the actually uploading does not take too much battery juice, but when you render, you know, when you finish editing your movie and then you do the rendering, like you save the file, I just see the battery, you know. Anyway, so we went to position 2 over here. Why? Because I saw a guy parked with a setup like this. You know, I like raising this axle. A couple of times I raised both of them, but then what happens is that your wheelbase become too long and it's hard to turn. Right, so this way your wheelbase is regular, but you're still saving some tire wear and improving your fuel mileage, because 4 tires are in the air. And of course, what I did, I used 3 boards. One is a lead, kind of like, and then put 2 like this, and this went over, and then I just closed I chain it up, and I closed those little levers there on airbags, and then I made sure it's up 5, basically top position. And over here there's a little sign that says do not operate this unit. Actually, wait a second, why am I speaking with an accent? If anything, I should speak with a Russian accent. Do not operate this unit unloaded with pole in lowest notch of rack and right height control set to highest position. I cannot even speak with a Russian accent anymore. But anyway, what they're trying to say is that that cannot be in 5 if you are in 1 over here. But that's why I need 5 over there, otherwise those tires will scratch on some uneven ground, you know, and you're gonna cause more harm than you're gonna destroy tires. So, but here I went to position 2. And position 2 means that I can do position 5 over there. So now we're a couple of inches off the ground, which is how I like it. And I took a picture of the excavator. I always like taking pictures. And you see, this thing already starts beeping. All right, what's the voltage? Like, I hate this power, what is it? Power drive. Okay, so it's just over 12 volts, right? So why are you complaining? But basically because that I never had this issue when I had a Dell computer, you know, but because Mac has such a high resolution of the screen, it's a pretty high voltage. I think it's like, it's more than 12. It needs more than 12. Like it has that big adapter over there. Because mine is 17. No, mine is actually what? Mine is 18-inch. Because I upgraded, right, last year or something. And so that laptop needs a lot of power. And see, those are the tracks that the captain left in Sudbury. All right, bye-bye Volvo construction equipment. That's the machine I brought, 380. And this 350, that's for little girls. Man, it's so hot. It's plus 28 again. Now we're gonna go wide like this, the way we like it. And so I have a lineup on another load after the other load. And I like to keep my window open in the sleeper, because when I turn my head I can actually see my rear, the rear of my trailer, which I cannot see in the mirror, you know. So 1-0 in favor of Kenworth. Like I'm telling you, on this truck the sleeper is my favorite feature, with those doors and with the windows. All right, and they had some construction. They were fixing, you see all these patches here. They were fixing. Oh, they all gone. Perfect. And what these guys did is, look what they did. You see that fresh black asphalt? It's like very hush-hush, you know, low quality kind of a job. So that will be gone in no time. But this road, for some reason, because this, all these heavy equipment dealers are here. It's been a while since I've been here. I've been to this cat 3 or 4 times. I brought, hold on, let me, there's a guy behind me with some ugly thing. I hate those. Just let them pass me. All right, here we go. Yeah, I wrote a little reminder for myself here. Buy fuel filters, KW dealer. Yeah, I want to get smaller size filters, like 10 microns or something. But anyway, like this is, you know, a feast for heavy haulers' eyes. That's 1700, man. I moved those, I don't know, maybe 3 times. Cat R1700. Oh wow, that's electric. This is XE. Now they make them electric. So basically it's one of those crazy mine trucks, like a dump truck, right? That goes underground, where the operator sits sideways. And if you take your foot off the gas pedal or go pedal for more than 5 seconds, and or your RPM goes below 1300, the machine shuts off, because it's thinking that you're underground and you either drunk or you fell asleep. And for safety, this one has so many features that make it very tough to load by yourself, very tough to self-load. And so I moved that one. I think I moved the dump truck like that. I'm not sure what that one is. I don't think that one is the same as this. And of course I moved these big dump trucks. I moved excavators. I moved scrapers. Actually, my first load, when I got my first RGN, I still remember when I was with Landstar, it was a Volvo scraper. And here, I remember once I was here in winter on a weekend, and there was snow everywhere, and I just went in here went in this employee parking, and I spent the night there, and then I just unloaded right there on Sunday. And I called them, I said, hey, is it okay, guys, if I just drop the machine, or do I need the signature of somebody? I don't want to sit here till Monday, right? And the broker says, yeah, it's okay. We'll just, he says, just make a note on the bill of lading that the machine dropped off, you know, like time and day. And so I still remember I did this, and it was very cold. It was, I think it was like minus, I don't want to lie to you, but it was below minus 20 Celsius. So, and that Kaufman trailer did not take our Canadian climate too well, you know, because it's made, you know, no offense to Kaufman builders, they're good guys, but it's built in South Carolina, right? And actually it's not Kaufman, right? You go there, you will not see the name Kaufman anywhere on the building. And first time when I went there to pick up my trailer, I was confused, you know, and where's the Kaufman plant? And the guy says, it's right here. And I said, why does it say it was something engineering? You know, like Pioneer Engineering, something like that, some engineering solutions. And this guy says, yeah, we have an exclusive contract with Kaufman, and he says we make trailers under their brand name. Come on, come on, come on. Go, because he's much faster. Now of course the guys behind me are gonna be pissed. Yeah, so lots of memories, you know, like I've been heavy hauling exclusively since 2014. That's when I had that Volvo scraper, my first load. I remember I picked it up somewhere in northwest US, somewhere like Minnesota, Illinois, somewhere there. And it was going to Western Canada. From here it's pretty far to Cambridge. I got up at 5 o'clock today. So I don't want to be driving
600 meters, merge onto Trans-Canada Highway, Highway 17.
for 20 hours, you know. That guy had a sign, yield, and he was flying. Alright, so this is Highway 17, because technically this is not even Sudbury. This is called Lively, like live and then L-Y, Lively. It's the western suburb of Sudbury, and this is where it's like a huge industrial park. just going 17 east back to there's some kind of a very suspicious Ford Explorer behind me, and I cannot make out if it's a cop or not, but the speed limit is 90, 56 mph. So gonna keep it professional. And in Ontario, I mentioned this before, I'm allowed to be up to 32 meters long with no permit, because I have an enhanced annual permit, which by the way is coming up for renewal in September. I gotta pay them 730 bucks Canadian. But that permit, even though it's expensive, but I use it all the time because that's how I moved this excavator over here. I did not need to buy any permits. And especially with the Jeep. If I have a tandem Jeep and a quad trailer, that enhanced permit allows me up to 78,000 kgs gross. So if you want to know pounds, just multiply by 2.2. And I think it's 71,000 kgs if I just have 8 axles. Yeah, this area is cool, you know, in the summer. It's cool, there's so many trees, everything is green, but in winter, man, like the climate here gets severe. You know, if it can be, you know, 50F plus 10 C in Toronto, by the time you get here, it can be, you know, -5, -10, like the temperature really drops. And there's lots of lakes in here. Once I delivered, no, I was picking up something at quarry, and the shipper was the guy who actually owned that quarry, and I forget, it was some kind of a loader somewhere not too far from here somewhere. And we started chatting. The guy was very nice, and he said that he used to live in Toronto and then he moved here. And I asked him, why would you want to live so far up north, you know? And he said, because over here there's 5 lakes per like 1 square kilometer, you know? Like you start walking 5-10 minutes, you'll hit a lake. Well, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but there's a bunch of them over here. And so if you like fishing, if you like hunting, you know, this is a good area. The only drawback is, like I said, it gets very cold in winter, and in the summer I did not feel it now, but some particular months they have mosquitoes like this size, you know. All right, so now we're turning on 69. So this is east, and I need to go that way, south. And so I'm switching to Highway 69, which becomes 400 couple of hours down. all in all, it was the trip was not too difficult, but this morning I had one last challenge. So I woke up at 5 o'clock. So because I checked the sunrise time in Fort Erie, Google said it was 6:10, 10 minutes after 6, and I'm thinking, okay, so I can start tracking at 5:40. And so I set my alarm clock for 5. I get up, yeah, sure enough, 5:30, 5:35, the sky gets light. I can see I can drive. So I put on all my lights. And then after about an hour, I got to Hamilton, Ontario. And I see on my tablet, it shows some major delays right before that Sky Bridge. And there were very narrow lanes and Jersey barriers on both sides. So I went in the middle lane, and I'm telling you, like, that lane was probably just 12 feet wide, and I'm 12 feet wide, you know. I was very nervous because there's a lot of traffic, there's cars around me, and I cannot go in the curb lane, I cannot go in the left lane because the sign says no trucks. And so at one point I had no choice. I just had to go in the middle between two lanes, because the lanes became even more narrow, like probably, I don't know, 11 feet. And I keep watching my mirrors, and the tracks of the machine were sticking out on both sides over the, you know, going over the zipper. And so I said, screw this. I turned on my flashing lights, and I went in the left two lanes on the bridge, and I stayed there with flashing lights probably for, like, I don't know, till the lanes got wider, maybe after like 500 meters, 1500 feet. Okay, you see 69 Toronto. So that's what I need. Yes, ma'am. Your wish is my command.
Use the right lane to take the Ontario 69 ramp and keep right in front of you.
There's a petrol pass somewhere here. Yeah, on the left side, and I'm pretty low on fuel, but I don't have the petrol pass card,
140 kilometers.
and so I cannot buy any fuel over there. So I'm gonna take my chances. I'm gonna fill up like what I did with the destination. I put in one of the rest areas on 400. So right now it shows exactly 300 clicks, 300 kilometers to that. So imagine, it'll take me like at least probably 3.5 hours. Time now is 2 o'clock. Yeah, cool. I'm gonna shut down at 5, because that will be 10 hours I've been working. All right, Ontario Provincial Police is on the right. Everybody smile and don't do anything stupid. Now that's a weird transportation. Okay, this guy, like, check this out. It's a bike with 3 wheels. So his body in the front is a regular motorcycle, and like my late dad used to say, 2 wheels between the legs, that's not transportation. And so the first guy definitely didn't have enough money to buy a four-wheel vehicle, but looks like, and I see, and the guy after him, the guy with three-wheel bike, you can see he was dressed up better, like a leather jacket. So this guy had more money, so he could afford a three-wheel motorcycle, but he still didn't have enough for a four-wheel car. That's my, you know, response whenever I see these tricycles. And I also remember that when I was a kid, I had a small bike like that, you know, like a regular kid's bike. It had 3 full-size wheels, not just like training wheels, but 3 full-size wheels. So that guy didn't go very far from that, but it's still progress. It's still 3 wheels are definitely better than 2, but that's still not a vehicle, in my humble opinion. I think by the time I reach that rest area, probably my fuel light will be blinking. But it's okay. So green stuff everywhere, trees, big hills, rocks. Oh yeah, and this area, this whole area north of Toronto, that's why it's taking them so long to turn this into a freeway, because after about 30 minutes this will turn into a regular 2-lane highway. And then half an hour after that, it becomes a divided 4-lane highway. And so they're trying to you know, extend it all the way to Sudbury, so that the entire road between Toronto and Sudbury is a divided freeway. But they've been working on that one, I think, for like 10 years at least. And that's why I'm mentioning that, is because of this. Because you see how many rocks are there? So they had to cut a lot of rocks to build this road. Like, I can see all these cuts on the so that's what underneath the ground, it's all rocks, you know. And that's why they have a bunch of quarries here and mines, you know. Like, look at this, right? It's all kind of like they used to be mountains long time ago. So you see all this they had to cut. They had to cut this huge hill in half to make this road. So this kind of like, I don't know, like what do you see somewhere in Colorado somewhere, you know, or Montana, except that we don't have mountains anymore, right? Because so these are very, very old mountains that got destroyed by wind and, you know, storms and rain. But there's rocks everywhere, and like I said, lots of rivers, lots of lakes. See, like all these little valleys over here. Yeah, I love this one. Like, this would make a cool picture. A couple of times I wanted to stop here. I think if you can climb on the top, there'll be you can take a very nice photograph. Yeah, it's been a while since I did anything with my camera. I gotta go do some photography, but I only have one day off, half a day, because now it'll take me 3 hours to get to Barrie, and then in the morning it'll take me 2 hours to get to Cambridge, And then Monday morning I gotta be 1 hour west of my yard to pick up that tile layer, the dozer. And this time they decided to keep things interesting. They said, how much money do you want if we wanted to bring the trailer and then they're gonna load that machine on the trailer, they're gonna drive it on, but then check this out, we're gonna remove the engine. I wanted to ask an obvious question, like, if you remove the engine, how can this machine work in the field, you know? Like the buyer, what do you think the buyer will not notice that the engine is missing? I don't understand how they hope to pull this off, but they said, don't worry about that, just bring the trailer, plan on staying a whole day, we're gonna load, and then while nobody's looking, we're gonna remove the engine, and then you're gonna deliver that with no engine. And I said, hey, if the guy refuses to sign my paperwork, it's not my fault, you guys still have to pay me for this. And they said, okay, so how much do you need? I gave him the price and I said, so much per mile plus cost of permits plus give me $500 for the day, because they said it's count on full day. They said your driver will be at the shipper a whole day. I said, okay, I'm cool with $500 US. And so the guy agreed to my rate, didn't even argue. And now I get a call from these two Russian ladies, freight broker from Toronto. Remember a while ago I brought one of those ugly drill rigs right to downtown Toronto, where it was very narrow and they had to block traffic right next to a subway station. And so now they said, do you remember that machine? And I said, oh yeah, you bet I do. I said, yeah, I remember that delivery because it was pretty challenging. And I said, well, that machine now is ready to go back to New Jersey. And I said, how nice. I booked a load. And they said, and then they called me back and they said, all right, they want to ship that Monday, Tuesday, but if we cannot find anybody, can you do it after you move that dozer to Minnesota? I said, yeah, possibly. So they said, we looked up the paperwork, we can give you the same money we paid you to take this from New Jersey to Ontario. Are you okay with that? And I said, I guess, but I'm gonna be in Minnesota Tuesday, Wednesday, and from there it's about 600 miles back to Ontario. So I don't have a rate confirmation from these ladies yet, so I don't want to commit because I don't know when I'm gonna be empty, and they're pushing me kind of like, give us a time frame. And I said, I have no idea. I have to load first because the guy will keep me there full day, right? And but honestly, I don't want to drive 600 miles from Minnesota to Ontario, because I can make at least a few $1,000, right? Even if I take like a cheap load, I don't know, $3 a mile, like maybe some legal load. But my luck is that when you're looking for a load in that location, you know, where you end up, there's always something, but in a different place. And of course, you know my rules of heavy haul, so you're always in the wrong place in the wrong time, you have a wrong trailer. Oh, by the way, these girls also called me, they emailed me, they said, can you help us with this? And it's some kind of a drill rig again, but I look at the weight, it says 140,000. And I said, I thought you knew that I only have one trailer, 60 ton, right? I cannot do a 70 ton load, 140,000. Like, you need 12 axles, right? You need like a Tridem Jeep, Tridem trailer, and Tridem Stinger. So you got you need 9 axles. I know that. 9 axles plus, you know, your truck, 3. 9 plus 3, 12. Yeah, you need 12 axles. That's very expensive. And then they called me, no, they emailed me again a couple of days later, and they said, Sergei, they took off 2 trucks, so now the weight is 100,000. And I called them, I said, first off, you probably meant tracks. And she says, what did I write? I said, you wrote trucks. Oh yeah, tracks. And I said, well, the second problem with your email is that the weight now is 100,000. I said, why is it 100,000? I told you my trailer is 60 ton. I said, you have to put 1 track back because I can do 120,000. And there was silence on the phone. I said, okay, I'm kidding. All right, so because I said the drill rig with only 1 track would look real funny. So, and plus, how are they gonna load it? So anyway, that one, they're still working on that one. They said that machine actually still has all the tracks. They were just like an option. They, you know, you see, like, these girls are smart. So just like what I do sometimes, they come up with a solution for the shipper, because clearly it's not that easy to find a 70-ton RGN. You know, it's a very specialized equipment. And so they try to probably talk to the shipper about breaking it down, and that's when they approached me, right? And I did something like this, but not with the weight, but with the geography. If you remember, I was in Las Vegas, and there was a load from California going to Ontario. And I cannot go to California. My equipment is not West Coast, and so I came up with this idea because it's not that easy to find somebody that want to go 3,000 miles from California to Canada. And so I told the broker, I said, hey, if you find a local guy to bring it to Las Vegas, I can take it from Las Vegas to Canada. And this way we were able, the shipper was able to move the load, because he found a local carrier, right? And then I went in there and I brought it. So, you know, sometimes you're gonna be creative and then everybody wins. So the shipper made money, the other carrier made money, I made money, the broker made money, right? Otherwise they'll be sitting there trying to find somebody from California to Ontario with a heavy spec'd West Coast trailer. They will be looking for a very long time. So same here, right? So if they take the tracks off, it's much easier to move a 100,000 pound machine than a 140,000 pound machine. And you see another lake. Well, it's just kind of like a big puddle, right? Oh, you see? So now it's a divided highway, and then it stops, and this side will be closed, so they will divert all this traffic to that side, and that side will become 1 lane. But yeah, driving empty, it's so nice, you know. You don't have to worry about tracks sticking out, you know, people hitting you. You don't have to shift because you no longer slow down on hills. I love it. The only other thing that's better than driving empty with a trailer is bobtailing. That's really a treat, I'm telling you. When you use to all these heavy loads, big machinery, big excavators, you know, signs, flags, chains, right? And then you jump into a bobtail truck, and it's like driving a car. I really enjoy that one. So because sometimes I do power only, right? When I tow somebody's like some industrial thing on its own chassis, right? Because I can make pretty much the same money I make with my trailer when I tow somebody's, you know, expensive equipment. Like I remember that thing I did, like a big processing plant from Oklahoma. So I just bobtailed there and picked it up and brought it to, I believe it was Oshawa. So my laptop is charging, everything is good. Man, yeah, I'm gonna be at that rest area probably around, it says 5:09, but that's, you know, if you drive without stopping, of course I'm gonna stop. But yeah, I'm not gonna make it home today. Oh, but the other thing is, I started speaking about my hobbies, you know, like photography, right? I miss photography, and lately I haven't been doing anything. And I always have the camera with me with my nice 2 lenses. But the next hobby, the Russian accordion challenge, I gave up the accordion back to Ron, the repair wizard, when? Last Friday. I just asked him to retune it, make it a bit more like a real accordion, give me like a more pleasant sound. And I talked to him yesterday. He says, yeah, it's all done. You can pick it up Thursday, tomorrow at 2 o'clock. And I'm real happy about that because, you know, I just started learning, and then, you know, 1 week break, it's not good, because even that small stuff I learned, I'm gonna forget. Because I try to practice every day, just learning, you know, the buttons, the keys, the notes. Because actually accordion, that's why they say the piano is easier to learn than, I think it's piano, then the guitar is not that hard either, because you can see, right? You can see the keys, you can see the strings, whereas on the accordion, you can see a little bit the melody side, right? But the left side, the bass, you know, it's all by touch. So you have to memorize all these buttons. But the good thing is that the major buttons over there, there's only 6 of them. Only 6 buttons, up and down. Yeah, 6 buttons plus there's 6 chords. No, wait, 3 and 3. Yeah, 12. So there's only like major 12 buttons. So it's not that complicated. So anyway, so I'm gonna pick it up tomorrow. And so Friday, as I'm leaving on the trip, at least I'll have my accordion with me so I can practice. Because, by the way, this trip, right, because they're gonna they'll have me there for a full day, and the broker understood this. He says, so probably you won't be able to enter, you won't be able to drive in Michigan. And I checked the dimensions of that thing, and it's like 11 feet wide, and I said, yeah, it's over 10. You cannot drive in Michigan on the weekend. So even if I enter Michigan on Friday, at the end of the day I probably won't get far, and so I'll probably have to sit there for 2 days, you know. So this is perfect. That's why I was pushing Ron, the repair technician, you know, to get the accordion done by Friday, so I can take it with me. So now we're good. So I'll have my Accordion tomorrow. And yeah, I want to buy some fuel filters because I only have one left. I want to buy those 10 micron or 15. Like now I have 25 microns. I think in the summer you can go a bit smaller. I'll see what my Kenworth dealer has in stock for a Cummins 605 horsepower, 2050 pounds of torque. All right, so that's how you do it. You keep your head on a swivel, you over secure, you under promise, and you over perform. And I sent an email to the broker this morning. I said, left foot here at 5:40 a.m. Current location, King City en route rest area off 400 North. ETA to consignee in Sudbury is 2 p.m. And that's what I mean by under promise. And I was there at 12:30. And of course, the first thing I did, I sent her an email. Arrived at consignee. And then load delivered. Here's your POD, the picture. So I'm telling you, brokers, they like this kind of stuff. They like when carriers communicate. You know, email your status, you loaded, you arrived at the shipper, arrived at consignee. It's very simple, but you'd be surprised how few carriers do it. And so I'm always trying to be comunicado, you know, not non-comunicado, but always communicate. Oh, check this out. The guy is hauling a crane, a small crane. And so yeah, I have the POD, proof of delivery with signatures. I have my rate confirmation, and I have my invoice. And so I already sent the POD to the broker, but tomorrow morning I'm gonna send all the paperwork to my factoring company. And yes, this trip the permits were covered by the broker. So first they issue the rate confirmation with the base rate, and then in the text below it says plus permits. And then I send them copies of all the permits, copy of the bridge permit, because I had to pay $245 Canadian, $200 US to cross the bridge on top of the toll. That's not toll, that's, you know, that's like permit, because they have to close one lane. And so I also added that to my expenses for the broker. And then of course I asked my permit broker to give me the invoice for these 3 permits. They made me Maryland, Pennsylvania, New York, plus 1 escort. I attached the receipt for $300 US from the pilot in Maryland. And so now she added all that up, and she sent me a new rate confirmation, and I signed it again, sent it back. So now I have that one. So I'll be paid tomorrow. Cool? Cool. All right. Sorry for the long video once again, but I'll be honest with you, the purpose today was to shoot a 5-minute video unloading. I just wanted to put the camera somewhere and then show how the guy rolls off the excavator off the trailer. But then the guy comes out and I ask him, I say, hey, it's okay to unload here? He says, yeah. And he didn't show any desire to drive the machine, and I thought, wait a second. So I can actually put the camera in my head and show you guys again the controls, you know, how I'm driving the machine. And so right off the bat, there was not a 5-minute video anymore. and then I thought, okay, I'm gonna show you some driving. And now we've been driving, what, for an hour and talking. But this is it. So one load is delivered, loading Friday, another one, and then a couple of potentials are in the works. So I'll see what I'm doing after that. But first, yeah, I gotta load that big machine and deliver to Minnesota. So I'm not gonna change anything on the trailer. It's still gonna be 4-axle truck, 4-axle trailer. No Jeep, no Stinger. Cool. Thanks for watching.